Hey everybody. So here are some rules for chromatography. This law is showing you that when you handle the chromatography paper, you want to wear gloves. What can happen is you've got oils on your hands and they'll start to mess with your samples and mess with your trials. You don't want that. All right. Leave the paper alone. You want it to be nice and straight. Don't roll it, don't crimp it, don't bend it as best you can. Keep it nice and straight without creases. All right. Don't mess with the paper. Now, you might be tempted or might think that filter paper is the same as chromatography paper. It isn't. You need chromatography paper, uh, and that's it. No filter paper. Now, on this one, when they've loaded the paper into their chamber, they've done something to it. You don't want it to be doing something with the bottom or the sides. Can you see what it's doing here and here? I was trying to, and this one I was fooling around with an image, and anyways. But what is it doing to the bottom and to the sides? Anyone catch it? You don't want it to touch either of them. You want this paper straight up and down, as it says. All right. Now, most beakers are going to have what appears to be something on the bottom. It's not going to have this thing, all right? Or chambers, as they're called. You don't want this curve. You want a flat bottomed chamber. If you've got a curve, when your solvent's going to have a crest, it's going to influence the surface of your solvent, and you don't want that. Now, once they've loaded, they've done something. What have they done to the chamber here? That is probably going to be not filter paper, paraffin or aluminum foil. You want to cover your chamber, all right, once it's going on. Now, law 5, I load my solvent in, I add the cover, and then I let it sit. All right. I want to let it sit for this amount of time so that the solvent can do this, can reach equilibrium. It's really important. What's going to happen when you when you add the solvent, chances are it's coming from like a stocked solution like this, where it's had time to evaporate. And when you put it in a new environment, especially with air around, some of the solvent will evaporate, and you want to keep that solvent from evaporating and leaving the chamber because you want to keep the amount of solvent constant. Not constant, but as close to the ratio as you set up. All right, what's wrong with this? All right, you'll notice something different about that dot on the right. It's huge. You want to make small dots. You don't want big dots. Okay, we're going to work on that, but you don't want small dots. Sorry, you want small ones. All right, what happened here? When they loaded up their sample, they dunked it. You can't do that. Now, law 3, what happened here? Well, they put it in and then they let it go and then boom, they stopped. Don't stop too soon. You got to give time to let the solvent explore with capillary action up to the top, right? Now, what happened here? They left it in, but then they let the solvent get to the top. You don't want that. If you let it get to the top, what's going to happen is it's still going to flow and it's still going to move, and it could move your dot in a way that you don't want it to. All right. Now the last law is, what have they done here with where their dot ended and where their solvent ended and where things started? They've used pencil to mark where things go. All right. So you want to mark things on your chromatography paper where they start and where they end. All right. And those are some rules of chromatography. Hope this has been helpful and you have a good night. Bye.